Are you in your 20s, maybe your early 30s, and do you ever just feel lost? I mean, really lost. Like you wake up in the morning, your alarm goes off, and the first thing you feel isn't energy. It's just this heavy, heavy dread. You hit the snooze button once, twice. You finally grab your phone and you tell yourself just 5 minutes. But then 5 minutes turns into 30. 30 turns into an hour. You're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. You're not even enjoying it. You're just numb. And all the while, there's this quiet, screaming voice in the back of your head. What are you doing? You have that project due. You said you were going to the gym. You said you were going to apply for that job. You're ruining everything. So you start your day already feeling defeated, already feeling like a failure. You lie to yourself. You say, tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be better. Tomorrow I'll wake up early. Tomorrow I'll start. But tomorrow never comes. If any part of that, any of it, sounds familiar, then you need to watch this video. Because that was my life for years. I felt lazy, I felt unmotivated, and I was terrified that I was wasting my potential. This video isn't another 5 tips to be productive list. This is the conversation I desperately wish someone had with me when I was 23, sitting in my room, feeling completely and totally stuck. My 20s, they weren't what I thought they would be. You see, we have this script, right? Graduate college, get a good job, find your passion, meet someone, climb the ladder. My script was messy. I remember this one project at my first job. It was important. It was my chance to prove myself. And I just couldn't start. I would open the document, stare at the blank white screen, and my brain would just shut down. I'd feel this wave of anxiety. So I'd do the easy thing. I'll just check my email first. And that email check would turn into a 2-hour YouTube spiral, starting with a work tutorial and ending on a video of top 10 movie Easter eggs. I'd lie to my boss. Yep, making great progress, when I hadn't written a single word. The shame of that, the feeling of being an imposter, it was crushing. It was worse than any failure because it was a failure of my own character. I couldn't even trust myself. And then there was the social media trap. This one was bad. I'd be lying in bed at 11 p.m., my eyes burning from the screen, and I'd be scrolling. And I'd see, okay, friend A just got a promotion. Friend B is on a beach in Thailand, finding themselves. Friend C just got engaged. And me, I was in my old pajamas eating cold cereal for dinner. And my biggest accomplishment that day was, well, nothing. I wasn't just comparing my behind the scenes to their highlight reel. I was comparing my worst moment to their best moment. And I just felt this overwhelming sense of I am being left behind. My potential, this thing everyone told me I had, it felt like it was just slipping away, day by day by day. And the worst part? I tried to fix it. I really did. I bought the books. Oh, I bought so many books. Atomic Habits, The Power of Now, Deep Work. My bookshelf looked like I was the most disciplined person on earth. I'd read a chapter and get this jolt of motivation. This is it. This is what I needed. I'd write a new perfect morning routine. 5 a.m., wake up, no snooze. 5:01 a.m., meditate for 20 minutes. 5:21 a.m., journal 3 pages. 5:45 a.m., 1-hour workout. And on and on. And it would last maybe 2 days. By day 3, 5 a.m. would roll around, and my brain would just say, nope, and I'd hit the snooze button. And that failure, failing at the plan to fix my failure, that felt like the final nail in the coffin. I thought, I'm just fundamentally broken. I'm just lazy, I lack willpower, I'm just not one of those people. And I stayed in that spiral for longer than I'd like to admit. So what changed? It wasn't one big aha moment. It wasn't a sunrise on a mountaintop. It was a slow, quiet, and painful realization. It was this: motivation is a myth, or at least it's a fickle, unreliable friend. It's an emotion, and you cannot build a life on an emotion that comes and goes. I realized I had it all backwards. I was waiting to feel good to start. I was waiting for motivation to strike me like lightning, but it never did. And I realized action comes before motivation. Action is the spark. Motivation is the fire that catches after you light the match. So I stopped trying to find my passion or wait for motivation, and I started becoming a scientist of myself. This is where the reading part of me kicked in. But I stopped reading just self-help. I started reading behavioral psychology, neuroscience. I wanted to know why my brain was fighting me. And I found two concepts that changed everything. The first is something called the activation barrier. In simple terms, your brain is designed to do one thing: conserve energy. It's a survival machine. Starting a new difficult task like that big work project or going to the gym takes a huge amount of mental energy. That's the activation barrier. My perfect morning routine, the activation barrier was a 50-foot wall. My brain took one look at it and said, absolutely not. Let's scroll Instagram instead. My brain wasn't lazy, it was just doing its job. This second concept was dopamine. We hear this word all the time, but I finally understood it. Dopamine isn't just pleasure, it's motivation. It's the chemical that says, go get that thing. But our modern world has hijacked the system. Scrolling social media, eating junk food, watching porn, these things give you a huge hit of cheap, instant dopamine. Reading a book, deep work, exercise, that gives you small, delayed dopamine. My brain's reward system was broken. It was so overstimulated from all the cheap hits that real work, the stuff that actually matters, it felt impossible. It felt dull, boring, pointless. I wasn't lazy. I was burnt out on dopamine. And when I understood those two things, that my brain was fighting a huge activation barrier and that it was addicted to cheap dopamine, I finally stopped blaming my character and I started fixing my system. So I became my own experiment. I stopped trying to change my life in one day, and I just focused on two things. Thing number one, I lowered the bar. Way, way lower. This is the single most powerful tool against procrastination. I stopped setting goals like go to the gym for an hour. My new goal? Just put on my running shoes. That's it. That was the entire goal. It sounds ridiculous, right? But think about it. The activation barrier for go to the gym for an hour is massive. The barrier for put on shoes is zero. My brain wouldn't fight me on it. Fine, we can put on shoes. And what happened? Well, once my shoes were on, I'd think, well, I'm already here. Might as well walk to the end of the driveway. And once I was at the end of the driveway, might as well walk around the block. And before I knew it, I had done a 15-minute walk. I used this for everything. Write that big report became open the document and write one sentence. Meditate for 20 minutes became sit on the cushion for 60 seconds. Clean my entire messy apartment became put one dish in the dishwasher. This is the famous 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it. But it's more than that. It's a philosophy. Make the start so easy it's impossible not to win. Because winning even a tiny, stupid win gives you a real hit of dopamine. And that real dopamine builds momentum. And momentum, my friends, that's what changes your life, not motivation. Thing number two, I did a dopamine detox to reset my brain. This one was harder. I realized I had to retrain my brain to find joy in difficult things. So I did a 24-hour dopamine fast for one full day. No social media, no YouTube except for education, no video games, no junk food, no music. Just me, my thoughts, books, and a journal. The first few hours were painful. I was so bored, I wanted to climb the walls. I kept reaching for my phone when it wasn't even there. It was a reflex. But then something amazing happened. Around 4 p.m., I was so profoundly bored that the idea of reading that boring psychology book suddenly seemed interesting. The idea of going for a long walk with no music sounded appealing. I had reset my boredom baseline. By the end of that day, my brain was quiet. I could think clearly. Now, I don't do this all the time, but I protect my dopamine. Rule 1. No phone for the first hour of the day. I don't let 100 strangers into my bedroom before I've even brushed my teeth. I read, I journal, I sit in silence. Rule 2. Add friction to bad habits. I deleted the apps for my phone. I have to log in through the browser. That tiny bit of extra effort is often enough to make me stop. Rule 3. Schedule my cheap dopamine. I love video games, but now instead of it being my default, it's my reward. After I finish 2 hours of deep work, then I'll play for an hour. It's not about becoming a monk. It's about taking back control. It's about making the cheap stuff hard and the good stuff easy. It took me years to learn this. Years of shame, guilt, and feeling like I was broken. And that's why I'm starting this channel. This isn't going to be another hustle culture shrine. This isn't about 5 a.m. cold showers and no days off, unless you want it to be. This channel is a workshop. It's a safe place to talk about the messy parts of growth. I'm not a perfect guru. I still have 0 days. I still procrastinate. I'm just the mentor-sibling. I'm the guy who's just a few steps ahead on the path, who fell into all the potholes and is now turning around and sharing the map of where not to step. On this channel, we're going to combine real, messy experience with real, practical science. We're going to talk about dopamine, activation barriers, rituals versus routines, fear of failure, all the stuff that's actually holding you back. So if you're 25 or 30 or even 40 and you feel lost, you are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not wasting your potential. You are just stuck, and you just need a better system. So if that conversation sounds like something you need, subscribe and join us. Let's build that system together. And for our very first conversation, I want to know, what is the one thing, just one, that you've been procrastinating on this week? And what is the ridiculously small step, the put on your shoes version, that you can commit to doing tomorrow? Leave it in the comments below. Let's start this. Let's hold each other accountable. Thank you for being here, truly. I'm excited to start this. I'll see you in the next one.